In the first experience, I had this experience maybe about 3 weeks ago, and it was related to another one I'll share today. But the first one I had was about 3 weeks ago, and in this experience, I was with a group of new friends. I didn't recognize the other new friends around me. It seems that I was sort of heading this little group or this operation, and I knew or I could perceive that we were at one of the poles of the Earth, and it wasn't the North Pole. Actually, excuse me, it wasn't the South Pole. It was the North Pole, and it kind of looked all snowy and everything, and you couldn't really see through this really thick kind of storm that they had going on. But we knew exactly where we were going. We were on this assignment, and we came up to these large, very tall double steel doors. They were taller than maybe like a two-story building. I mean, they were these huge steel doors, and they were sort of embedded into this mountain. And as soon as I seen the doors, I had what almost like X-ray vision. I could see through the doors into this underground facility, all the way like 50 stories down into the earth. They had these what they were trying to figure out where they came from, these off-planet beings who had just arrived to the earth. They were trying to figure out, well, why did you come here, and so on and so forth. And I knew that these were some of the beings that we were trying to come in contact with. So I'm approaching these large steel double doors, and all of a sudden, out of the snow and out of what like almost looks like floating in the air and on top of the mountain, is all these secret service and military agents and even psychics that they're using in these remote viewers and things like that to try and stop us from getting into the facility, from coming in contact. I mean, there was must have been thousands of these combatants, so to speak. And I've never and then after all these combatants appeared, something very, very interesting happened. I've never experienced something like this. I've never had an experience like this because I tend to have a very almost childlike attitude. But in this experience, I was very, very laser focused. I had this very sharp focus, and I was had this almost business like attitude that I did not want to mess around. I didn't want to be stopped or bothered on my assignment. So I just remember all I did was I sort of lifted my hand and snapped my finger, and all these people just disappeared. All these combatants, all these psychics and seers, and all these CIA agents and stuff they were trying to throw at us to stop us, they all just vanished. And I knew that I had gotten rid of everybody inside of the facility, so we could just go straight in. It wasn't a there wasn't a fight or an ordeal. And as the experience sort of concluded or came to its conclusion, these large steel double doors were opening, and the new friends and myself, we were making our way down this sort of black spiral staircase to this basement that they had where they were housing these beings. And again, that had just arrived to the earth. And a couple more things. And so that was the end of the experience. And after that experience was very interesting. When I got up in the physical sense, when I was back in the physical body, I was sort of half asleep, half awake. I wasn't completely in the physical body. I was still seeing other things going on because I still had my eyes closed. And I could see that they were sending these, I guess they would be like remote viewers or something to that capacity. They were sort of sending them into my room here, and I could see them trying to surround my bed and my living space here. And it was very interesting because that same day, 5 minutes after I got up, my bank account was frauded for a large amount of money. And there was just all these funny little things happening throughout the week. And I could tell, and I was even getting impressions that they're sending these psychics and these seers to try and attack me because they really didn't like what we were doing and what was going on and what I did there and all this kind of stuff. And so that was just kind of a fun experience. I thought that was really interesting. The second experience, unrelated to the first, or sort of not in sequence, you might say. The second experience, it seemed that I was at a gala of sorts, sort of like a almost like a political ball, I guess, is how you would describe it. There was all these sort of white, clothed round tables around sort of what looked like a dance hall or like a dining hall, and there was a large stage, and there was all these prominent political figures there, like George Bush, the Clintons, Obama was there, and it was just all these, and even like Putin of Russia, and just all these characters. And what was very interesting, kind of funny, almost like a comedic thing, was they all had these very large heads, so they were easy to spot in the crowd because there was a lot of people. They had these large like bobbleheads, and I knew my assignment was, or I could see that my assignment was to contact a certain few of them. Like I was trying to make contact with Putin, I was trying to make contact with um, perhaps Obama and a couple other American politicians. There was other business owning politicians and such and sort that I was trying to come in contact with. And then all of a sudden, as I'm making my way towards them to sort of make this introduction on the real side, these explosions went off of purple smoke. And it was very interesting because the purple smoke, it didn't affect me and anybody that I was with, but it affected the politicians. It's like they started like choking and they like couldn't breathe. And and then it turned into something else. It was sort of like a mission. I was trying to still come in contact with them. So that was a short second experience there.